Well, we're going to go across now to be joined by the President of SAHUC, Hafiz Moaaz Casoo, as South Africa transitions to the direct Hajj model, the Nusuk Hajj platform. Hafiz Moaaz Casoo, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Inayat and to the listeners of Salam Media. I trust you all doing well today.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, doing well. Juma Mubarak to you and Jazakallah khairan so much for joining us and for your time this morning, Hafiz Moaz. And clearly, we've seen this letter come through from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I've actually read out parts of the letter earlier on, the Royal Embassy of South Africa to Durko. Now, this clearly is groundbreaking. And in terms of Hajj dynamics, this is going to be a big game changer.
Yes, correct indeed, 100%. It's going to be a huge game changer, especially for the 50 odd thousand pilgrims that have been waiting in the queue as first time Hajis wanting to perform Hajj. That entire list is now scrapped and they will need to register when the registration process opens on the Nusuk Hajj platform, bearing in mind that even those who have gone in the past can now also register and apply. So that number of 50,000 is probably going to be a lot more, especially for those that would love to go as a repeat pilgrim again for Hajj. So can you imagine the chances that are going to be given to the pilgrims? And the biggest problem or the biggest challenge we find ourselves now is that the quota has been reduced as per the letter that you've read out from the Saudi embassy to Durko. The quota used to be 2,500. Now it is 1140 for South Africa. So this is a huge, huge game changer for South Africa. And it will basically put light to the chances that the pilgrims would have to go for Hajj based on this reduced quota allocation.
Hafiz Moaz, what I can actually foresee is a massive logistical problem obviously cropping up, particularly with the numbers obviously dropping, but the mere fact that there are 50,000 people that are on the waiting list at this point in time. And I've seen the SAHUC press release where obviously you've articulated, all the engagements that you've had. Yeah, SAHUC has obviously provided some history to put context into the background of how these events have actually unfolded over a period of time. What are the critical issues that stand out for you?
I think, look, the biggest challenge is the outcry in the public domain. People did not understand what they were asking for. I mean, if you read some of the messages that were going to the embassy or going to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, people were saying, we want Nusuk, we want Nusuk. And I mean, when you start raging that you want Nusuk and then now you get it and now you realize, oops, we actually don't understand what Nusuk was all about. I think it's rather too late. A lot of noise from certain political parties without understanding what Nusuk Hajj entails and how it's going to affect the pricing, how it's going to affect the pilgrims that are waiting in the queue, the first-time pilgrims. But it's unfortunate. I think the damages has been done. It's something now the people will have to live with until things change, maybe inshallah in the future. But for now, it is a major setback for South Africa. And I think people must be accountable and people must come out and acknowledge and confirm that they were instrumental in requesting this. There were certain travel operators that requested the Nusuk Hajj platform, and they must come out and confirm that they have. We've got reliable source, reliable information that they've presented and requested this platform. They must come out and now guide the pilgrims as to the way forward. What is the way? How they have presented the case, what they have told is the need for South Africa, why they wanted Nusuk. They must now come out and inform the public accordingly. I think it's only fair to the public that they do so.
Hafiz Moaz, obviously this comes again, before a critical time, because I know that there were certain plans in place for certain engagements. We've seen the letter from Yusha Tayyib as well. That has obviously been trending on social media to the various operators. There was going to be a special meeting prior to the SAHUC AGM as well. Does this change any of the dynamics as far as SAHUC is concerned, and how is SAHUC going to respond?
Look, inshallah, we still plan on having the meeting tomorrow with whichever operators are available to discuss any challenges, any issues, what went wrong. Try and see what is the best way forward, how can we navigate the current situation, and what is the plan we can put forward together as a team. Yes, it's rather late, it's a little bit unfortunate, But as a Muslim, you never lose hope. You know, you should always remain positive, always reliant on Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and remember, everything in this world comes from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So we will continue. We will try our utmost best to see what is possible, what can be done, what cannot be done. And with regards to SAHUC, it's I think very early for me to really say much. We still need to have board meetings. We will need to have general council meetings. And based on those meetings and deliberations and discussions over the next few weeks or months, we will come out with further information. So right now, I think it's a bit too early. We've only got the official announcement last night. So yeah, I think give us some time, and inshallah we will unwind and unwrap everything that has been put forward, and then we'll make the necessary decisions on the way forward for SAHUC, inshallah.
Well, clearly, as you rightly point out, it just came out last night. It's fresh off the press, and obviously, it wouldn't be fair to get immediate answers. But clearly, earlier on, I mentioned the whole question surrounding the logistical nightmare, because with 50,000 people on the system, 1,140 people accredited to go, people that have been waiting for years and years and years to go for Hajj. The whole question surrounding the fees that they have paid, the money that SAHUC has accumulated over a period of time. I'm sure all of that is going to be under consideration, and it is something that you are going to deliberate in detail on how you're going to manage this process going forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think what people need to understand is not like we're going to have to pay back thousands of rands to individuals. You know, each individual, the maximum someone would have paid us is 300 rand a person, the maximum, all right, per person. So that decision will be taken in terms of refunding those who have registered and obviously now need to re-register on the Nusuk platform. The biggest concern is out of this 50,000, if people are elderly, they've been waiting 8 to 10 years already. They have seen this year where they are in a position to go for Hajj. They were getting ready. They will start preparing. Now they have to reapply, re-register. They got no guarantee that their name is going to come out on this automated system. And when it does come out, they must make sure that they have the full complement of their money in their digital wallet. If they don't have it, they get de-accredited immediately. So that is going to be the challenge for the Pilgrims of South Africa, whereas in the past, there was allowance where the travel operators gave them leeway to pay the money in stipends in different time periods. That is gone. You no more have the luxury of it. So it's going to be a huge change, mindset change for the Pilgrims of South Africa. Allah make it easy for them. We will try and be available to assist them, but there's not much one can do besides trying to help you navigate through this application system. So it's going to be a challenge for a lot of South Africans. But look, we have had sight to the system. We had a presentation. It is a very, very good system. There is no doubt about it. But South Africans are not ready for it right now. And when we say South Africans, we've got to look at the majority of South Africans who have not done online bookings, who have not traveled overseas before. For those people, I think it's going to come as a shock. For those who have been waiting in the queue and now have to reapply, they had hope maybe this year, maybe next year. Now you reapply again. And those that have never registered with SAHUC because they perform Hajj, they're also going to register now because they're also going to become eligible. And remember how it's going to work, Brother Inayat. If you go for Hajj on the Nusuk platform, the following year you can register and apply again. There's no more waiting period. If you've got the wealth, you've got the money, and you're available and you've got the health, you can register, and if you apply and you get accredited, alhamdulillah, you go again. So that is a game changer as well. So you can imagine at 1,140 pilgrims, you've got a 50,000 backlog of first-timers. One alone knows how many of the repeats will register. Allah make it easy for the pilgrims. It's going to be a huge, huge challenge. And the future of our children and the youth still to come, it's going to be a challenge, inshallah, going forward.
Well, obviously we can understand, and I know we've got a caller wanting to know, Brother Moaaz, what is going to happen to SAHUC now. But as you mentioned earlier on as well, you need to go back to the drawing board as well. There's a lot, at this point in time. So I do understand, Hafiz Moaaz, that it may be difficult to answer that question or provide a straight answer right now. But just finally, because we've got obviously Mohammed Mia who is waiting, we've got Sheikh Imraan Saban who's waiting after after this as well. The question is, could anything have been done differently? Because we know what has been playing out in the last few months, the whole question surrounding the constitution, the change in the constitution. There was a lot that was actually happening and playing in the background. And could anything have been done differently to avoid what we've seen and to avoid this communication that has gone through from the kingdom to Durko?
Maybe yes, maybe no. It's difficult to say now and to put blame on people, but I think the important thing and the misunderstanding is a lot of people have taken the proposed amendments to the Constitution and have stated SAHUC has put certain words, but they forgot to ask what was the accepted proposed amendment to the Constitution? What was the final verdict? What was the final wording in the Constitution? They failed to ask that question. They ran with the proposed amendments, when in actual fact is not what is the final approved amendments to the Constitution. So when the Constitution is going to be uploaded, people will have privy and sight to it, and they will see that what was the proposed amendments to what is accepted is slight change. And I think they will then understand the misleading communication that was passed along social media. But look, it's water under the bridge now. We have to look at the way forward. It's no use pointing fingers at people. Alhamdulillah, we have educated society. They've read all the information on social media. They will make their decisions. They will make up their mind. They will need to look at the way forward, and we need to be here to help them and guide them and assist them of the way forward. And inshallah, Allah make it easy for us all. It's going to be testing time for South Africa, and we need to be there for our pilgrims to help them, mentor them, and guide them on the way forward, inshallah.
Inshallah, I mean, and just the AGM, that is still going to go ahead as scheduled.
Inshallah, we're going to have a meeting sometime today to discuss all the logistics and there may be some changes, so we may have to move it out, but I'll have to wait and confirm. But as it stands right now, the date is still next week, Sunday. If there's any changes, we will inform the public accordingly, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan so much for that, Hafiz Moaaz, and for your time with us this morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hafiz Moaaz Casoo, the president of SAHUC, and once again, just to reinforce, this is a huge game changer as far as the Hajj space in South Africa goes. A quick break. We come back, we'll be joined by the chairperson of Khidmatul Awaam Pilgrim Services, Muhammad Mia.
This is Salam Media.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Quota Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit quantu.co.za. The Quota Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of poverty. Penny Appeal South Africa's Breakfast Club aims to get a warm, hearty meal to underprivileged children so they can spend their day prospering in their schoolwork. Help feed a needy learner for only 5 Rand a day or 150 Rand a month. Or visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Gaza needs your support more than ever. Homes have been shattered and families have lost everything. With your support, our teams are delivering clean water tankers, feeding the hungry, and assisting orphans who have no one left. Let us give Gaza whatever help we can. African Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Well, we continue with this morning's broadcast, and we are staying with the breaking news and the breaking story with regard to the Hajj dynamics, and this is the migration to the Nusuk system, and the communication has been very, very clear from the Ministry of Hajj to DIRCO that South Africa will be migrating to the Nusuk platform. And what stands out is the number of people, the quota dropping from 2,500 to 1,140. And the questions that have been raised is, where does this actually leave SAHUC? And I see there is a question that came through from Farah Khan. Is there any rationale provided for the drop in the quota from 2,500 to plus minus 1,000 pilgrims, as the Muslim population has not dropped in the country? And I suppose DIRCO, at the center of all of this, will have to answer, will possibly have to make representations, and we will try and see if we can't get someone from DIRCO to actually engage in terms of what DIRCO's response has been to this communication that has come through. But nevertheless, it does leave SAHUC in somewhat of a dilemma. 50,000 pilgrims that are on the system at this point in time, millions that need to be refunded. But as Brother Moaaz mentioned, Hafiz Moaaz Casoo mentioned, they need to go back and they need to caucus, they need to meet as well, and they need to digest what has happened and also to find a way forward. But also, who needs to find a way forward are the Hajj operators. And this is why we are talking this morning with the chairman of Khidmatul Awaam Pilgrim Services, Brother Muhammad Mia, and also on the line we have from TWF Hajj Services, Sheikh Imraan Saban. Brother Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome and Jazakallah for your time.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Inayat, and to all the listeners of Salam Media. Thanks for allowing us the opportunity.
Inshallah. And Sheikh Imraan, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you and welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Inayat, and to all the listeners out there.
Brother Muhammad, as I mentioned to Hafiz Moaaz Casoo, that this is a major game changer for SAHUC as an organization, but also taking a look at it from a Hajj operator's perspective. What does this actually mean for your organization, for Khidmatul Awaam Pilgrim Services?
I think we understand that Khidmatul Awaam was obviously created 17 years ago in terms of trying to bring down the prices of Hajj as possible. And alhamdulillah, over the years, we have achieved this and serviced our respected Hujjaj to the best of our ability. I think we must realize, obviously, the doing of this year and the shortcoming of this year, obviously, I think it's no sense we're throwing stone, but we have to realize that probably towards SAHUC side, there were some shortcomings. Towards the relevant role players, there were some shortcomings because Khidmatul Awaam itself, in principle, is totally opposed to the Nusuk system. And this is why our press release indicated that, because we knew it will move in this direction. But however, it is early days. We'll have to see how it unfolds. I think the greater concern is that the quota has been reduced now to 1,140. But however, like I said, there are some positives in Nusuk, but the negatives are more. And we'll have to obviously ride this wave as we move along.
Yes, let's just ask Sheikh Imraan about what you just said, the positives and negatives, Sheikh Imraan. How do you see that? Are there more negatives at this point in time? And is there going to be a role, and this is absolutely critical, is there going to be a role for any Hajj operator that is going to be providing pilgrim services?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, definitely. I will say that, look, we're all navigating this new transition and it's going to be new for South Africa. There's not an operator in South Africa, no Hujjaj, no SAHUC, and the community has not experienced the Nusuk yet. Other countries have experienced this for the last 3 years as it was being implemented. We will have to remain positive. Our role as a Hajj operator will be there to support the Hujjaj, always to stand by them, to navigate this with them together. We will have to engage the service providers, the Nusuk service providers, in order to bring clarity and support to the Hujaj. It is a big shock for us to see that the quota has been reduced, but for the last 3-4 years, we have seen the transition in Hajj by the Ministry of Hajj. We saw also the intention that the ministry has announced moving up to 2030, their vision. And this was coming our way very sooner than later. And we hope not to have had it as this year, but be it as is made the actions and the reactions and the decisions taken of those in authority and those that were regulating Hajj on behalf of South Africa. We can now see the result thereof, and we're going to have to deal with this as a community. Unfortunately, there are 50,000 in the queue, first timers wanting to go. We do see the ministry is announcing that in the future, while they are building infrastructure, while they're making changes, while they're implementing online systems, they are renovating the mashair, the services. And inshallah, we hope in the future that our quota will increase. And only Allah knows best what's happening in the future. We have to place our trust in Allah. We don't know what's going to happen next year, but for this year, we'll have to be there to support the Hujaj, to offer them the full support that they require, inshallah. And we as operators or specifically at TWF, we will definitely be there to assist all the Hujaj on a national level in South Africa with this new system.
Yes, Sheikh. In fact, talking about the quota and the reduced quota, I'm just looking at a comment that has come through from one of our viewers this morning saying that this reduced quota was already spoken about by SAHUC in their earlier statements. If you go back, the statements, you'll find it there. They said it was due to construction. So this is not due to Nusuk. So thank you for that comment that has come through from one of our listeners. But also, Brother Muhammad, as far as the game changer is concerned, and earlier on when I spoke to Hafiz Moaaz Casoo, obviously it is going to impact on SAHUC, but also in terms of Hajj operators for someone like Khidmatul Awaam, Pilgrim services as well. The SAHUC statement talk about you having your services being limited. And is that a concern? Because we know the type of services that Hajj operators have been providing. They've been full services in the past as well. Are you concerned that you may be limited with the nature of the services that traditionally Hajj operators have been providing to pilgrims?
No, I think I beg to differ there, obviously, and I think the agents will remain relevant. And I think Nusuk is in 180 countries itself. And I think depending on the service provider that you link to or that you contract to, that means the agent in South Africa will remain relevant and they will try and promote those products. And obviously, South Africa has different needs and there's engagement moving forward. So you will engage with the relevant service provider that's there in terms of doing best what we require for South Africa. And this is our aim and our vision to ensure within our means and within our capacity to ensure that we provide and do what is best moving forward for the South African Hujjaj. Yes, there will be changes, and I think these changes are relevant within the Nusuk system. We are going into an unknown factor, but obviously airline prices are a factor which we should consider in itself. And obviously the positives is probably, yes, while there is only 1,140, the Nusuk system opens probably in the next 3-4 weeks time. People register, then obviously you have to have your money in your e-wallet prior to choosing a package, but that will be only towards the latter part of the year or the early next year in itself. And then we have relevant stages of the Nusuk system. So obviously once our quota is absorbed or utilized, the 1,140, you go to the first round or the second round, and you come into the third round where we have all these countries that don't utilize these quotas, and this comes back into the pool, and South Africa then has access to that quota in itself. For example, we'll take one specific example, our neighboring country, Botswana. They had a quota of 25, and last year they took 55 Hujjaj. So it almost doubled the amount. Where you look at the UK, which was almost 3,500 as a quota, and they basically took 8,000 towards the end in itself. So So obviously, these type of things, as we go along, where we as operators, as a travel fraternity, will engage with the relevant authorities in Saudi Arabia and try and see and do best what it is. I think our role will be obviously in terms of educating the Hujjaj. I think that's what Khidmatul was created for, in terms of educating, making them understand how the Nusuk system works, how to navigate through this process in itself. I think our Khadims will be available when they travel, depending on, again, like I say, how you engage with the relevant operator. Our ulama will remain relevant in itself during the period when the Hujjaj are traveling, during the 5 days of Hajj in itself. So, Alhamdulillah, I think this part of it, we can overcome this, inshallah.
Well, inshallah, Jazakallah, and I think we can just confirm because I've got another comment that comes through and says we in Botswana are already on Nusuk for the past 2 years. Alhamdulillah, last year our group had a brilliant time. Now, Sheikh Imran, I'm sure that this is going to be a huge learning experience as well, because this is for the very first time South Africans will be experiencing going via the Nusuk system. And I recall, I think about 2 years ago, we know that there were many teething problems in the UK when they had actually migrated to the Nusuk system. And I'm sure that obviously has been cleared, because there hasn't been a problem at the last Hajj as well. Are you also talking to other organizations or operators across the world that have now had some experience as far as the Nusuk system, so that we can obviously take lessons from them, we can learn from them, and also take their experiences and bring it to our Hujjaj and prospective Hujjaj in South Africa, and also at the same time providing some valuable experience and information to people like yourselves as Hajj operators.
Salam, brother Naid. Most definitely we are. We have been engaging many countries, and this is what we do all the time and every year to service our Hujjaj with the transition of Hajj, with Hajj, whether it was under the mission or under the Nusuk system. We will always be engaging the relative role players and those in authority, so that we can ease the experience for the Hujjaj and the challenges. So yes, we have been talking to them. We have done inquiries. We have also engaged the service providers on Nusuk as well. And very soon, inshallah, once everything is clarified, we will definitely have workshops. We will definitely have support structures, education, which is good for us. And I think South Africa next year will be more prepared than what they are this year. It's our first season, our first year. We will be onto the Nusuk system. There is a lot of unknown factors involved. We don't know how many Hujjaj will be going this year. Besides that, the announcement this morning said 1,140. But Allah knows best, we might get an increase. There is also a construction and lots of infrastructure being changed. We saw that the ministry made an announcement for a 20% reduction. So there's so many factors that could contribute to the fact that they reduced us. It was just announced yesterday. We are still unpacking things. We are still going to contact ministry and engage with all the relative role players to explain to us the way forward. But inshallah, we'll be there to assist our Hujjaj. We just want to assure the community and the Hujjaj with this transition for the believer. We believe that there's always good in it. There's always khair in the plans of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't despair. And we will embrace the new changes. We will embrace and assist the Hujjaj, and those that will be on Arafah will be there with the blessings, with the protection, with the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala has these his slaves that will guide and service the Hujjaj, inshallah.
Yes. In fact, I'm just looking at another message that has come through, and I think this is important, where the listener saying that is this letter intentionally misleading, or is it being misused to make it look like King Salman has cut South Africa's quota, when in fact it is a split quota as per SAHUC's minutes, while facilitating for a monopoly by giving the balance of the 3,500 quota to SAHUC. Now, this appears actually on screen as well, because in this tweet, it also talks about SAHUC continuing managing Hajj and supervising the operations as well. And also looking at, the question that has been raised, Brother Muhammad, as well. So, already we're starting to see these type of sentiments being expressed that, is that 1,140 cast in stone at this point in time, or is there something else? Is there a thing called a split quota? Do you know anything about that, Brother Muhammad?
Yeah, no, I don't. We're not aware of it, but I think in various different countries, depending on the country itself, where you have, like, for example, India, where you have the government that manages a certain quota and a mission that manages a certain quota. We're not sure. We're going into unknown factor here. I think we don't want to assume. Like I say, let's wait for the outcomes as we move forward. It's early days in itself. We as Khidmatul Awaam and what in conjunction with the travel fraternity will engage the relevant players, I think so. And it's important that South Africa maintains the 2,500. I think the reality is just, although there's construction, I think the reduction of the quota from 2,500 to 1,140 is not supposed to be. Yes, there was indication of a 10 or 15% reduction in the quota because of construction at the Mashayar itself. So I think we'll have to see how it is. And I think the Saudi government probably applied their mind. And I think for them to reduce to this amount, it is a concern. But like I say, let's engage and work out and see what is the best, inshallah, for the Hujjaj. We make dua, inshallah, that it works out best for the Hujjaj around the world and for the South African Hujjaj. And Allah grant ease and accept those that want to perform this ritual and this farais of Hajj and make it easy for them to go to these blessed lands. And like I said, the dynamics are going to change and we'll have to adapt and work around these dynamics, inshallah.
Sheikh
And I
Imran,
think on our side as Khidmatul Awaam, we will endeavor and strive to educate and to navigate through this process of the Nusuk Hajj system in terms of doing what is best. We must understand they are the elderly people, they are old people, they are people that have worked out throughout their life in terms of saving. And yes, the cost probably is going to increase via Nusuk. And we as a community will have to look at those people and see how we support them and how we assist them in terms of navigating to this process. And Allah can khair and ease for everybody.
Yes, Sheikh Imran, also I think what's important to understand is what sort of level of engagement is taking place locally. Now, we are aware of the meeting that is due to take place tomorrow. We know that letter by Attorney Yusha Tayyib has been doing its round on social media as well. I spoke to Hafiz Moaaz Casoo earlier on, where he said that meeting is still going to go ahead. We know that the SAHUC AGM is due to take place on the 28th as well. But also just to understand, and I think it's important for us to actually get somebody out of DIRCO to get their response to this communication in terms of how DIRCO is going to fit into this entire new developments, and also at the same time, as far as the quota is concerned, the numbers is concerned, what sort of negotiating strength DIRCO has at this point in time as well. Are we at a local level going to continue still engaging with SAHUC or through SAHUC, or to perhaps even directly with DIRCO as far as these developments are concerned?
Brother Inayat, I think what's happening currently now, we're going to have to also go through a transition ourselves locally. However, we will always be there as operators, as service providers to the community, to the Hujjaj, to engage with all the relative role players in the best interest of the Hujjaj. If that has to be with DIRCO or to sit with SAHUC and unpack and see what can be done and what is going to be required, or with the CRL or with the Hajj Ministry, definitely we will always be ready there to assist on the best way forward for the Hujjaj and for our community as a South Africa. However, it's the first day, everything, it's fresh off the press, it's been released. We have to unpack things. We were not privy to any meetings with the DIRCO, with CRL as operators. We were never included in these meetings. These meetings was always held between SAHUC and between CRL or between DIRCO. And therefore, we would want to be included and to give our input and to get clarity on what has transpired and what is the way forward. But inshallah, I think we will definitely not turn our backs on the industry and on the Hujaj, and what is needed to be done to make things easy for them in this country and in Saudi Arabia as well.
Well, and finally, just to both of you, Brother Muhammad Mia, and I will ask Sheikh Imran also to respond to exactly, like Sheikh Imran mentioned, Brother Muhammad, in terms of Hajj operators going back to the drawing board. This is going to be absolutely important. This is critical. And, one, obviously, it would be unfair to accept immediate answers like we did with SAHUC as well. Everything is just very, very fresh at this point in time. But just, for the benefit of the greater ummah, for the benefit of the greater Muslim population. And I'm sure that many, many at this point in time are concerned, very confused as well in terms of what actually lies ahead, and particularly those who have been reliant or who have been hoping to actually go for Hajj for many, many years. Those that have been on the waiting list for years, sometimes right up to 10 years as well. I think the sooner we can actually get to this, to the bottom of this, and reach, some sort of final conclusion, I'm sure it's going to be better for everyone. Brother Mohammed, your mic
Yeah,
is
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah,
muted.
sorry. Yeah, I'm just in a bit of at the airport now itself. Inshallah, I think I'll just with my closing statement, like I say, we'll have to sit on this with a united front, try and see what is best we can do in our capacity for the Hujjaj. And inshallah, we make dua Allah grant ease and make it easy. And I'll tell my colleague, Imraan, Sheikh Imraan, to continue in himself. And I'll have to recuse myself because obviously I'm at the airport now, inshallah. But again, Jazakallah khair for allowing us the opportunity to come on here and let us make dua for the best for the Saudi African Hujjaj. And as things unfold, obviously Khidmatul Awaam will advise the community in terms of what it is best we can do and how we can support the Hujjaj. Shukran jazilan.
Ameen. Jazakallah khairan so much for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Sheikh Imran, yes, just some closing comments in terms of what I asked Brother Muhammad.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, brother Inayat. We make shukr to Allah for every day that Allah blesses us as an ummah. And we also make dua that Allah guides us through challenging times and new things. And I think to all the listeners on this Mubarak day of Jummah and this first day of this great news that have reached us, that's impacting our community, that may come as a shock to us or as a test to us. Let's reflect all on the reminder in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Qaf, where Allah gave us a beautiful example in the happenings between Nabi Khidr, Nabi Musa, and Allah's the best of planners. We don't know what's going to happen to the 50,000 people. We don't know what's going to happen over the next 10 years with regards to Hajj in this country. We never knew that last year what's going to happen this year. But we embrace change. We trust in the plan of Allah. Allah is the greatest of planners. We will put our effort there. We will educate our people. We will prepare. We will do what is just, what is correct, and what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But ultimately, we thank Allah for every day, and for those Hujjaj that will be going this year, we thank Allah for blessing them with the opportunity, be it only 1,100 this year, maybe 2,500 next year, maybe 3,000, 4,000 the following year. We don't know, but we remain positive. We make dua. We seek from Allah. We only ask from Allah, and with justice, with obedience, with pleasing Allah, we will stand together as a community, and we will accept the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah.
Inshallah, I mean, Jazakallah khairan so much to you, Sheikh Imran Saban, and also to Brother Muhammad Mia. I'm just looking at the comments here. Allah is the best of planners. Sayyid Sheikh says, Ayah Umrah will go the same route as Hajj. No more local agents. Is this true? But I think at this point in time, Brother Sayyid, I think all of this is very, very fresh. And at some point in time, I'm sure we will get clarity on that. But to all of you, and also to you, Sheikh Imran, Jazakallah for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, that was our coverage of the breaking news as far as Hajj dynamics is concerned, and a game changer in the Hajj industry at this point in time. It's still very, very fresh. It's hot off the press as well. So we will be following these developments over a period of time, and I'm sure to give both SAHUC and the Hajj operators time to actually digest this communication that has come through from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Durko, and with regard to the quota and also the migration to the Nusuk system as well. So there's going to be a lot happening over the next few weeks in terms of meetings, but we certainly will follow developments and we will keep you informed. With that, we're going for a break. We come back, we will be joined by Maulana Musa Akudi, who sadly lost his wife last week, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Jannah as well. And we want to pay the special tribute to Marhuma Firoza, the wife of Maulana Musa Akudi, inshallah.